We've talked about solving quadratic equations by factorising, but factorising doesn't work with every single quadratic. We need some sort of formula, a quadratic formula. Let's talk about it today. This quadratic seems like it might be quite easy to solve, but there aren't two numbers that multiply together to make 2 and add together to make 2. The quadratic just doesn't factorise. This is where the quadratic formula comes to the rescue. Let's have a look at these questions. A quadratic will normally have 3 terms: the x squared term, the x term, and the number term. The formula uses the coefficients of each of these terms, which it labels a, b, and c. For this equation, a will equal 5 because 5 is before the x squared term, b will be 7 because 7 is before the x term, and c is 1 because that's the number term. Make sure you don't forget to include the signs before each coefficient. You should learn the quadratic formula off by heart. All you need to do is substitute in the values of a, b, and c. Our b value is positive in this question, but if it's negative, make sure you put it in brackets when substituting. Many students forget and get the wrong answer when squaring the b. You will notice that we are using our plus minus sign again. This means that the formula must give us 2 solutions. Solve the formula with the plus sign and the minus sign. So, with the plus sign, it gives us the answer of minus 0.16 to 3 significant figures, and with the minus sign, it gives us the answer of minus 1.24 to 3 significant figures. Most calculators, you can use the cursor keys to change the plus to a minus so you don't have to rewrite the entire equation again. When solving with the quadratic formula, we need to first of all identify our values for a, b, and c. Don't forget that the a is the x squared coefficient, b is the x coefficient, and c is the number term. Now a will be 1 because there's a 1 before the x squared term, we just don't show it. B will be minus 3 because there's minus 3 before the x term, and the number term is minus 20. When substituting into the quadratic formula, don't forget any negatives put in brackets. So on your calculator, you'll type it in with a plus, and then you get the answer of 6.22 to 3 significant figures, and use the cursor keys on your calculator to change the plus into a minus, and you should get minus 3.22 to 3 significant figures. You'll notice something special about this question at the end, but let's just solve it like we would normally. So we need to find our values of a, b, and c. So a will be 2 because that's the coefficient of the x squared term, b is minus 4 because that's the coefficient of the x, and c is the number term, which is just 2. Feed that into our quadratic formula, and you'll notice that each of the values is going to be 1. So when it's a plus, it's a 1, and when it's a minus, it's a 1. Try and think about why that happens. Let's finish with this. The quadratic formula does not work with x squared minus x plus 1 equals 0. What part of the formula stops this from working? If you know, let me know by writing in the comments below. And you can also come to onmaths.com or click the link in the description where you can access all of our free GCSE papers and predictions, and you can even save your scores with a free account. This video is part of a larger GCSE course that you can follow along with at onmaths.com.